This K&N air intake system is designed to increase vehicle power and acceleration by reducing restriction in the intake path. The intake kit fits the vehicles shown, as well as additional vehicles identified on the K&N website or catalog. The K&N air intake system is guaranteed to produce a measurable increase in vehicle horsepower. K&N has extensive testing facilities that include several chassis dynamometers used to precisely measure engine and drivetrain horsepower and torque. The kit includes components that have been designed or matched to the needs of the vehicle to produce a safe horsepower increase. Detailed installation instructions are included with this kit. The tools needed for this install are shown. The first step of the install is to turn off the ignition and disconnect the negative battery cable. Release the locking tab and then disconnect the mass air sensor electrical connection. Next, loosen the hose clamp which secures the intake tube to the mass air sensor. Then, loosen the 4 screws which secure the upper airbox housing to the lower airbox housing. Loosen the bolt which secures the upper airbox to the valve cover. Now you can remove the upper airbox and then remove the stock air filter. Loosen the hose clamp which secures the stock intake hose and then remove the stock intake hose from the vehicle. Remove the 2 screws which secure the mass air sensor to the upper airbox and then remove the mass air sensor. Next, remove the O-ring from the mass air sensor. Remove the 4 upper airbox retaining screws from the upper airbox. Using the provided hardware, secure the factory mass air sensor to the K&N heat shield as shown. Install the K&N air filter onto the mass air sensor and secure with the provided hose clamp. Secure the provided silicone hose onto the throttle body and secure with the provided hose clamp. Install the heat shield and filter assembly onto the lower airbox and secure with the 4 factory upper airbox retaining screws. Install the provided silicone hose onto the mass air sensor and secure it with the provided hose clamp. Install the K&N intake tube into the silicone hoses and secure with the provided hose clamps. Reconnect the mass air sensor electrical connection. Lastly, reconnect the vehicle's negative battery cable. Double check to make sure everything is tight and properly positioned before starting the vehicle. It will be necessary for all K&N high-flow intake systems to be checked periodically for realignment, clearance, and tightening of all connections. Failure to follow these instructions or proper maintenance may void warranty. This intake kit is not legal for highway use in California or other states adopting California emission standards. Check our website for up-to-date information on emissions legality for specific parts on specific vehicles and for a list of the other CARB adoption states. K&N makes products for nearly every vehicle on the road. The K&N website allows you to search products by vehicle or dimension, download installation instructions, view dyno charts showing typical horsepower gains for this product, and view product details. For more information on where to buy K&N products, go to knfilters.com.